Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the trial of Casey Byrd reached a conclusion last night after jurors heard from Byrd himself. And officials are looking for the suspects of a home invasion who got away with someone's car.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We are at 6:30 this morning, and I don't know about you all at home, but this week maybe felt a little longer than 5 days. But she's finally here, and by she, I mean Friday. So let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast.
All right, if we're talking longer than 5 days, does it feel like 6? Does it feel like 7? Does it feel like 10? Don't worry, I'll stop. 72 outside our door. Back into the color mode as we lost the night vision and can see the perspective of the cloud cover across the region. And this will give you the perspective regarding the visibility and some fog issues as you make your way back toward Williamsburg. Otherwise, a lot of us right now just dealing with the clouds and temperatures. Well, we're dealing with a sultry feel to the air to start us off into your Friday and get us to the weekend. But there's signs of a cold front that are approaching central Kentucky and moving through. And this is the boundary that will continue to track through eastern and southern Kentucky over the next several hours. And that's reflected in the forecast for this morning. Any fog will dissipate. Then we wait for the cold front to move on through. Until it does, risk of a shower, maybe a thunder shower up until about 10, 11 o'clock. Then we start to decrease the clouds, decrease the humidity. More importantly, the high today in Hazard up to 86. The all-important ARH First Alert 7-day forecast and a beautiful stretch of weather. That's all coming up in a few moments. Madison?
All right, Tim, thank you. The man accused of killing London police officer Logan Medlock was found guilty last night on all charges. The verdict against Casey Byrd was returned last night after about 6 hours of deliberation. Byrd was convicted of charges of murder, DUI, and criminal mischief. Yesterday, jurors heard from the accused as he took the witness stand. Byrd was emotional, recounting the events of the night that he admittedly got behind the wheel while, quote, blacking out from a night of drinking. Byrd recalled drinking between 8 and 10 beers as well as 5 to 6 shots of bourbon before driving away from the party. As a corrections officer, he remembers telling officers on the scene, quote, "I was on the same side."
I knew that it was a short trip, and the road I had come in on, like I said, was a kind of a back road, rural road, and I just thought I could make it.
You remember the drive?
Not really.
The jury also heard from Byrd's attorney and the Laurel County Commonwealth's attorney. The defense, arguing for a lower sentence, did not avoid the fact that Byrd was drinking and driving, but they argued that the case has been handled unfairly due to the victim's status as a police officer.
All of these items of evidence that I bring to you, I bring not to exonerate Casey Byrd. I bring these to you so that you can accurately determine whether this is extreme indifference to the value of human life. That is what is required for murder.
You know who else would have been wrecked this one slow? Casey Byrd. You know who else would have been wrecked if they didn't run through the red light? Casey Byrd. You know who else would have been wrecked if they weren't drinking and driving? Casey Byrd.
The prosecution claimed that no matter the victim's career, it does not change Byrd's actions. With his speed more than 70 miles per hour and his blood alcohol level more than 0.3, they say the case was clear-cut. A grand jury indicted a man on murder charges. Brandon Mullins of Stanford was charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence. The charges stem from police finding 2 bodies in the Eubanks community, which were later identified as Mullins' father and uncle. Mullins is being held at the Pulaski County Detention Center. The sheriff's office in Whitley County is investigating a break-in and robbery. The sheriff says someone broke into a man's home early Wednesday morning, attacked him, and then stole his money and his SUV. That vehicle may have been spotted in Tennessee. Investigators are not sure where exactly it or the suspects are, but they say they have good evidence in the case.
We don't feel this was a random incident. We feel that the victim was targeted specifically. We don't feel anybody else in the area is in danger.
The sheriff says he believes it is likely more than one person was responsible for the home invasion. The victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to be released soon. Part of Interstate 75 southbound in southern Kentucky was blocked after a truck fire yesterday afternoon. It happened between the two Williamsburg exits in Whitley County. Police say a tanker truck caught fire, but the fire was put out before it could spread to the main fuel tank. The fire response and cleanup resulted in a major backup in the southbound lanes. No one was hurt. A Letcher County man is behind bars after police found meth in his car. Police stopped Michael Honeycutt and Fleming Neon. They said he failed to provide a valid license. Once they began searching, police found meth under the driver's seat. Honeycutt was taken to the Letcher County Jail. A Texas man is now behind bars. Police stopped a car as they said the driver, No Vega of Houston, was acting suspiciously. Police said they found a smoking pipe and a crystal-like substance before Vega began running away. After catching Vega, police said they found open beer bottles in the car. Vega is facing resisting arrest, possession of meth, and other charges. He was taken to the Laurel County Detention Center. Kentucky State Police released a statement regarding a story we told you about a man on Wednesday about a man who says a KSP helicopter flying overhead destroyed his garden. The release says in part, quote, upon receiving a complaint yesterday and speaking with the involved parties, it appears the Vico community has suffered significant damage from recent storms, and KSP believes the marijuana eradication did not cause damage to any property, end quote. You can read their full response on WYMT.com. Breathitt Countyans can expect traffic changes in Jackson soon. Officials with the State Highway Department announced crews will begin work on Highway 15. The northbound lane will be closed between Indian Hollow Road and Lakeside Drive. A 30 miles per hour speed limit will be imposed on the work zone. Brief delays are to be expected as crews move barriers. This will begin Monday, August 12th. A Knott County bridge that was replaced is now open. Road Department officials said the bridge is at the intersection of Kentucky 550 and Kentucky 2759. Drivers are encouraged to use caution. Officials said stripping and the guardrail installation will be completed later. Some crews in Kentucky have made a trip south to help those impacted by Tropical Depression Debbie. Many departments from Kentucky, including Kentucky Utilities and Emergency Disaster Services, have been in the southeast helping provide relief. Daniel Lowry with Kentucky Utilities says they are working on several different operations.
This week, we've sent about 110 of our contractors. These are line technicians and tree trimmers to assist with the efforts down there. Other utilities help as well. So a lot of crews gather to help get power restored.
Kentucky utility members in the Carolinas have been released and are coming home. 2 years after being damaged during the July 2022 flood, one Head Start building is reopening in Knott County. WYMT's Amelia Lee checked out the newly renovated building yesterday afternoon.
A day that could not come sooner. The reopening of Perkins Head Start in Hindman. Staff members say the damage from the flood 2 years ago was unimaginable.
There was nothing that was saved, nothing.
The devastation was just catastrophic.
Billy Sloan says the entire building had to be gutted from floor to ceiling.
I remember walking in here and just seeing steel beams, and that was it. There was no even definition that there was classrooms here.
The entire bottom half of the building had to be redone, but now things are even better than before.
Everything is brand new. Every single thing in this entire building is new.
While reconstruction was going on, children who normally attended Perkins were transferred to Perry County, a 30 to 45-minute drive for some families.
We service a lot of lower income families, and that gap from this community to there, it put a hardship on a lot of the families.
Busing was offered for preschool age students. Families with babies and toddlers had to drive them to school, but that was not a permanent solution.
Convenience is everything. When parents have high quality education services near to home, it's just so helpful, and parents depend on us.
Sloan says she has been anxiously awaiting the reopening of Perkins Head Start.
It feels so good to be home. Like, there's just no better feeling than to be here.
Starting the school year off right. In Knott County, Amelia Lee, WYMT Mountain News.
Early Perkins Head Start children go back to school on August 12th. Preschool age kids go back on August 19th.
Quick weather update as we push through this 6:30 half hour. We've got a lot of clouds across eastern and southern Kentucky. Cold front coming into Lexington and Danville right now from Louisville, and will continue to overspread the region here, or not overspread the region, move through the region rather, as we head through the next few hours. At the bus stop this morning, it's 72 right now. We're going to hold that pretty much over the next hour plus. And by the lunch hour, we're looking for breaks in the clouds. And that's the sign that the cold front, one, has moved on through, but two, not only going to start to decrease the clouds, we're going to see the humidity drop as well. The forecast high in Hazard this afternoon, up to 86. Nibrock over in Corbin. Oh, this is spectacular after that sultry feel last night. Tracy Bird, well, guess what? Things are looking spectacular late this afternoon, this evening. The high in Corbin up to 85. More about your First Alert 7-day forecast. That's coming up in a few moments. Madison?
Thanks, Tim, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:42. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. New communities are preparing to weather the deadly storm Debbie that's left parts of the southeast underwater.